So we're in Clovis, California. We just finished installing an A.O. Smith water heater. This is straight out of Lowe's. The homeowner purchased it and under warranty. The old water heater's sitting in his van over there. He's going to take it back over there. I guess that's part of their policy. You got to bring the old one back. But anyway, it's a brand new water heater sitting here. The only thing that you can't see behind the tag is where it says down in there, it says A.O. Smith. But everything else is out here. You can see the model number sitting there. And then of course the item number. Serial number. So anyways, probably in this documentation right here is going to be a warranty card you can fill out and send to A.O. Smith, or I would imagine also you can go to aosmith.com and register your product online to get your new warranty going on this product. So we didn't have a formal proposal on this one, but we did have a verbal discussion, which we always honor. And one of that is part of that, or let's just do the whole scope of that, is new shutoff valve up top. So we took out the old gate valve. You can see the old parts all sitting down here. So there's the supply lines, and I don't know how old they are. They look fairly new, but we don't like to reinstall anything existing. The reason why is once we touch it, we own it, and then if it leaks and causes damage to the water heater, we buy it. So you can see here's the old gate valve. Not in bad shape, but it did have an iron pipe nipple that was starting to corrode because copper stubbed out of the wall and the brass was not isolating it enough to stop the electrolysis in here. So anyway, so brand new shutoff valve in the with hot and cold supply lines set on the ground, the old straps on the ground, the draft diverter. What else is on the ground? I think that's about it. It's on the ground. So what we did, oh, and then the old gas valve and gas line is sitting down there as well. So up top, copper construction coming out of the building. So brass, and then of course a brass nipple down to the tank. And we like to put brass coupling and nipple here. The reason being, and I don't think a lot of plumbers do this, and it's not a big deal if you can get it to, seal, but they have a gasket right in here, and when you tighten it down to this little nipple stubbed out, there's a plastic heat trap on the top. And sometimes it starts to weep. You got it all tied together and water starts coming, out of here. When it's tied in down there, and so we just eliminate that. We spend an extra 10-15 bucks on brass, mainly because brass does not corrode, doesn't break down like galvanized iron pipe. So brass coupling, brass nipple, and then we file off the top of this nipple up here so it's nice and flat. Gives the gasket a nice place to seat, so there's not too much trouble there. Other side, you can see there was already a male adapter on there, which is great. So both of these supply lines are ProFlows, straight out of Ferguson, and 8 inches long. And you can see this one over here on the hot side, same thing, brass coupling, brass nipple, and then the nipple, the corrugated supply line kind of loops around and back down onto the hot side. Draft diverter is new with the unit, so that went in place. And then of course we reused this pipe right here. Looks brand new. I'm not sure, probably 15-20-year-old home, maybe more, but pipe's in great shape, so we did not replace that. We just put it back in place there and got some screws up top so it doesn't fall out of there, and of course screws down at the draft diverter so it stays in place. Here we put brand new adjustable straps on. They did have adjustable straps in place, but one of them over here just had a little tiny screw in here, as opposed to these 2-inch lag self-tapping screws that go in when you get the kit. Plus, we don't know what's happened to it. If it's been bent back and forth across one of these little slots and ready to break. I just don't know. It's 10 bucks, so we put it in. We spent about 95, 100 bucks in parts, new parts that typically are not installed. Plumbing contractors like to put that money in their pocket. I would rather have no more service calls out here. Love working, love plumbing, love making money, but I don't want to have to come back here and replace a valve and charge you $150 or a supply line. Every time you come out, it's typically $100 just for the service call, and then a charge for whatever it is. So if you piecemeal it together, you're going to spend a bunch of money working on this thing. I just like to tie it all back together with as much new product as possible. Relief valve is a little funky now. It did come straight out and over and back. They had a tall, skinny water in here that was about 20 in diameter. This one's 22, so it just pushes this out too far. So no big deal. I know how to put pipe together and I know how to solder, so we just brought it over, dropped it down, and snuck it back over and reused the union and the pipe coming out of the wall. No reason to replace that. Copper lasts forever. We very seldom we have problems with copper pipe at all. Even under slab, we don't have any trouble. So that's good. Strap on the upper third, strap on the lower third. Down here, gas shutoff valve brand new, gas supply line brand new, adapter into the controller brand new. Right now, if the burner is lit, the pilot is lit, the burner is on. We've got it right here on hot. You can see it there, and then above you can see scalding risk increases with hotter water. So hot is approximately 120 degrees, which is great for any kind of showering, dishes, whatnot. A is approximately 130, B 140, C 150, D 160. Just at B right here at 140, you got third degree burns in 3 seconds. So we leave it here just so that we're not liable for anything that happens. So if you happen to have toddlers come over for whatever reason, grandkids, someone else's kids, and they get in there and turn on your hot water, you want to make sure they stay safe. So we like to leave it right there. If you feel you'd like hotter water, certainly you can adjust it up or down, but this is going to heat to 120 and it should be fine. We did put a little piece of concrete backer board down here. The platform had been saturated, you could see on the wall. The other one had sprung a leak and it had saturated pretty good. We just didn't want to put the base on. This is actually not the tank itself, it's just a shell. The tank starts all the way up in here, but we just don't like putting it on any kind of mushy surfaces or even damp surfaces. So concrete backer board, same stuff they use when they're doing tile shower walls, so that's good. So everything else is in, burner is lit. Outside of that, this installation is done.